Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as promised, this video will show you how to make your very own Chanel style trim and to add patch pockets to your jacket. So let's go. Make a little template to trace around. I cut out a small square measuring 5 inches by 5 inches, then folded in half and cut the bottom corners so they were rounded. Cut out 2 of the main fabric and then 2 in the lining. Make sure you add a seam allowance to this square. Once cut, place the lining on top of the main fabric, right sides together, and sew around the edge at a 1 cm seam. Leave a little opening at the top corner to turn through. Trim the excess and notch the rounded corners before turning through to the other side. Press the pocket flat and either machine stitch or hand stitch the pocket hole closed. You can machine stitch the pocket if you are adding a trim, as the stitch won't be seen after you put the trim on the top. Time to place your pockets. You can put them wherever you like, but whatever you do, make sure that it is equal on the other side, so it helps to measure the distance from the bottom or from the side. Once you have the positioning right, pin them so that they're secure and sew the sides and the bottom of the pocket onto the jacket with a straight stitch. Try to stitch as close to the pocket edge as you can so the stitching is less visible. You can, however, hand stitch instead for a more invisible stitch. So those are the basic pockets. Let's talk about this trim. To make your trim, you need to start by cutting your fabric in 2-inch bias strips. This means cutting your fabric on a 45-degree angle from the selvage edge. Once you have your strips, double them up by placing 2 similar sized strips together. Stitch a very close zigzag stitch in the center of the double strip, then sew over the same line again to reinforce the stitch. Using a seam ripper, start to unravel the edges of the strip using a crisscross motion. This should come apart fairly easily. Keep doing this, moving inwards towards the reinforced sewing line in the center. The sewing line will keep all the threads together and stop them from completely fraying. Continue down both sides of the strip until it's fully frayed. So even though this bit takes the longest out of all the part of making the trim, this is also the most fun. I find it really therapeutic being able to completely just destroy this thing. So once you've finished fraying, you should have something that looks like this, nice and fluffy, and I just love it. Trim down the sides so that they are the same length and look nice and neat, and then trim the edges. And that is your basic Chanel style trim. So with that, you can add that to any of your garments. You can add it to the top of the pockets, as you can see here. All you need to do is make sure you do a straight stitch where that zigzag stitch is to attach it to whatever you need to attach it to. To get a continuous strip of trim, you can attach the next piece of bias by butting the edges together as it's going through the sewing machine. The double stitch should hold them all together. I attached my trim to my jacket using my mannequin. It made the whole thing a lot easier because I was able to turn it and see how the jacket hangs. I also used clips instead of pins because they were able to hold everything in place without making a hole. The trim should be lined up so that the center of the trim is at the edge of the jacket. You can then stitch a straight stitch all the way around the jacket, securing the trim in place. Once sewed together, fluff the trim so that the center line is covered up by the frayed threads. And that's it. Now that you know how to make trim, there are so many possible ways to add to the basic frayed trim to enhance your project. I'll be showing you a few more ways in some future tutorials, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, send me a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.